Welcome back to Rainbow Magic Book Club, and today we are going to be looking and reading Izzy the Indigo Fairy. She was the 6th ever Rainbow Magic book to be released ever. She is very pretty and has short black hair and is wearing a lot of indigo because she is, the Indigo Fairy. And the book is so shimmery and sparkly, and the pages are really bent. Well, the cover is because this book is old. I've had this book since 2010, 11. So it says, Rainbow Magic. Follow a fairy to the end of the rainbow. Izzy the Indigo Fairy is up to her usual mischief. Rachel and Kirsty must fly to the luscious land of sweets and bring her back to the pot. There is a fairy to be found in every Rainbow Magic book. Collect them all and bring the sparkle back to Fairyland. And so far we have Ruby the Red Fairy, and yes, I'm going in book order, Amber the Orange Fairy, Saffron the Yellow Fairy, Fern the Green Fairy, Sky the Blue Fairy, the one we're reading today, Izzy the Indigo Fairy, and Heather the Violet Fairy. They're always so tiny and cute. Now, let's start reading. And we're not going to be reading the Jack Frost spell because I read it when I read the first 4 books. Izzy the Indigo Fairy by Daisy Meadows. Illustrated by Georgie Ripper. Here's the map again of Rainspell Island. Jack Frost spell, and it says Ruby, Amber, Saffron, Fern and Sky are safe at last. But where is Izzy the Indigo Fairy? I know where she is because I've read this book before. I'm not going to say in case some of you haven't. Contents. Chapter 1 is A Fairyland Beginning. Chapter 2 is The Land of Sweets. Chapter 3 is Look out! Chapter 4 is Stop Those Goblins. Chapter 5 is A Very Suitable Punishment. And Chapter 6 is The Bubblegum Balloon. I remember the Bubblegum Balloon. A Fairyland Beginning. Rain, rain, go away. Rachel Walker sighed. Come again another day. She and her friend Kirsty Tate stared out of the attic window. Raindrops splashed against the glass and the sky was full of purpley black clouds. Isn't it a horrible day? Kirsty said. But it's nice and cozy in here. Now, just to let you know, I'm going to be reading a lot more. Instead of 1 or 2 pages, I'm probably going to try my hardest to read at least 4 or 5 chapters. So the video will probably be quite long. She looked round Rachel's small attic bedroom. There was just room for a brass bed with a patchwork quilt, a comfy armchair, and an old bookshelf. You know what the weather on Rainspell Island is like, Rachel pointed out. It might be hot and sunny very soon. Both the girls had come to Rainspell Island on holiday. The Walkers were staying in Mermaid Cottage, while the Tates were staying in Dolphin Cottage next door. Kirsty frowned. Yes, but what about Izzy the Indigo Fairy? She asked. We have to find her today. Rachel and Kirsty shared a wonderful secret. They were trying to find the 7 rainbow fairies who had been cast out of Fairyland by evil Jack Frost. Fairyland would be cold and grey until all 7 fairies had been found again. Rachel thought of Ruby, Amber, Saffron, Fern, and Sky, who are all safe now in the pot at the end of the rainbow. They only had Izzy the Indigo Fairy and Heather the Violet Fairy left to find. But how could they look for them while they were stuck indoors? Remember what the Fairy Queen said, she reminded Kirsty. Kirsty nodded. She said the magic would come to us. Suddenly she looked scared. Maybe the rain is Jack Frost's magic. Maybe he's trying to stop us finding Izzy. Oh no, Rachel said. Let's hope it stops soon. But what shall we do while we're waiting? Kirsty thought for a moment. Then she went over to the bookshelf. It was filled with dusty old books, and she pulled one out. It was so big she had to use 2 hands to hold it. The Big Book of Fairy Tales. Rachel read out, looking at the cover. If we can't find the fairies, at least we can read about them, Kirsty grinned. The 2 girls sat down on the bed and put the book on their knees. Kirsty was about to turn the first page when Rachel gasped. Kirsty, look at the cover. It's purple, a really deep bluey purple. That's indigo, Kirsty whispered. Oh, Rachel, do you think Izzy could be trapped inside? Let's see, Rachel said. Hurry up, Kirsty, open the book. But Kirsty had spotted something else. Rachel, she said shakily, it's glowing. Rachel looked. Kirsty was right. Some pages in the middle of the book were gleaming with a soft bluey purple light. Kirsty opened the book. The ink on the page was glowing indigo. For a moment, Kirsty thought that Izzy might fly out of the pages, but there was no sign of her. On the first page was a picture of a wooden soldier. Above the picture were the words, "The Nutcracker." Oh, Rachel said, I know this story. I went to see the ballet at Christmas. What about it? Kirsty asked. Well, a girl called Clara gets a wooden nutcracker soldier for Christmas, Rachel explained. He comes to life and takes her to the land of sweets. They looked down at a brightly coloured picture of a Christmas tree. A little girl was asleep beside it, holding a wooden soldier. On the next page, there was a picture of a snowflake whirling and swirling through a dark forest. Aren't the pictures great? Kirsty said. The snow looks so real. Rachel frowned. For a moment, she thought the snowflakes were moving. Gently, she put out her hand and touched the page. It felt cold and wet. Kirsty, she whispered, it is real. She held out her hand. There were white snowflakes on her finger. Kirsty looked down at the book again, her eyes wide. The snowflakes started to swirl from the book pages right into the bedroom. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. Soon the snowstorm was so thick Rachel and Kirsty couldn't see a thing, but they could feel themselves being swept up in the air by the spinning snow cloud. Rachel and Kirsty yelled to Kirsty. Why haven't we hit the bedroom ceiling? Kirsty reached for Rachel's hand. Because it's magic, she whispered. Chapter 2, The Land of Sweets. Suddenly the snowflakes stopped swirling. Rachel and Kirsty found themselves standing in a forest with their rucksacks at their feet. Tall trees loomed around them, and crisp white snow covered the ground. They certainly weren't in Rachel's bedroom anymore. Then Rachel realized where they were. Kirsty, this is the forest that was in the picture, she said, grabbing her friend's arm. We're inside the book. Kirsty looked even more scared. Do you think Jack Frost brought us here? She asked. Or his goblins? Jack Frost goblins are always trying to stop Rachel and Kirsty from finding the rainbow fairies. I don't know, Rachel replied. Then she frowned. There was something odd about the snow. She bent down and gently touched the snowdrift. This isn't snow, she laughed. It's icing sugar. What? Kirsty looked amazed. She scooped up a handful and tasted it. The icing sugar was cool and sweet. Maybe this isn't Jack Frost's magic after all, Rachel said. I wonder where this forest is. What's that? Kirsty asked, pointing. She could see a pink and gold glow through the trees. Let's go and find out, she said. They picked up the rucksacks and set off. It was hard walking through the icing sugar. Soon the trainers were covered in sugary snow. Crack! Rachel nearly jumped out of her skin as a loud noise echoed through the trees. Sorry, said Kirsty. I trotted on a twig. Wait, Rachel whispered. I just hear voices. Goblins? Kirsty whispered back, looking scared. Rachel listened. The voices were louder now. She sighed with relief. No, they sound too sweet and soft to be goblin voices. Rachel and Kirsty hurried towards the edge of the forest. When they came out of the trees, they saw that the glow was coming from a dazzling pink and gold archway. Look, Rachel, Kirsty gasped. It's made of sweets. Kirsty stared. The archway was made of pink marshmallows and golden toffee. Then they heard the voices again. They spun round to see who it was. It was two people dressed in fluffy white coats, were chatting to each other and scooping icing sugar into shiny metal buckets. They had round, rosy cheeks and little pointy ears. They were so busy that they hadn't noticed Rachel and Kirsty yet. I think they're elves, Kirsty whispered, but they're the same size as we are. That means we must be fairy, or at least elf size again. We haven't got any wings this time, though, Rachel whispered back. Suddenly one of the elves spotted them. She looked very surprised. Hello, she called. Where did you come from? I'm Rachel, and this is Kirsty, Rachel explained. We came here through the forest. Where are we? Kirsty asked. This is the entrance to the land of sweets, said the elf. My name is Wafer, and this is my sister, Cornet. We're the ice cream makers, added Cornet. What are you doing here? We're looking for Izzy the Indigo Fairy, Kirsty told them. Have you seen her? Both elves shook their heads. We've heard of the rainbow fairies, said Wafer, but fairyland is far away from here, across the Lemon Ocean. Maybe you should ask the Sugar Plum Fairy for help, Cornet suggested. She's so clever and kind, she'll know what to do. She lives on the other side of the village. Could you take us to her? Rachel asked eagerly. The elves nodded. Follow us, they said together, and they led Rachel and Kirsty through the archway of the pink and gold sweets. On the other side of the arch, the sun shone down warmly from a bright blue sky. Flowers made of strawberry cream grew beneath milk chocolate trees. Squashy pink and white marshmallow houses lined the village street, which was paved with boiled sweets. Isn't this great? Kirsty laughed. It's like being inside a giant sweet shop. And it all looks yummy, Rachel agreed, spotting a garden gate made of stripy rock. Thank you for watching me read Izzy the Indigo Fairy, and I will be reading Heather the Violet Fairy next. Bye. Bye!